Welcome back. It's approaching 3:48. I'm Martin Daubney. This is GB News. Now, GB News can reveal that prisoners have been filmed rapping about the Israel-Hamas war from inside their cells. The men do not condemn Hamas and make gun gestures towards the camera. So why don't we take a look?
For Gaza, yeah, free Palestine and Gaza, mental man and crave, yeah, no long thing. Yo. Look at the news, all I see is drama. Look at the...
OK, well, so many questions to ask there, and thankfully a man who can answer them has just joined me now. It's GB News reporter Charlie Peters who got that scoop. Charlie, what on earth is going on? How have they got phones inside prisons? How do you get hold of this footage? And how on earth can such radicalised messages be spewed from within our cells?
Well, how do they get the phones in? That's the big question on everyone's minds, no doubt. Well, the prison service told me that mobile phones are absolutely not tolerated in prisons, and anyone caught with them faces extra time behind bars. Currently, it's an extra 40 days if you're seen with a telephone. But there is a deluge of content online filmed by prisoners inside their cells, on their wings. I've been tracking this footage for a long time, observing hundreds of hours, which is available freely on many social media sites. But a lot of it is coming now on TikTok. A lot of small accounts, their prisoners are setting up their own accounts, putting footage on there through smartphones. How are they getting in there? Now, the prison service say that they've got a special forensic mobile investigations unit. They say they link up with social media companies to prevent footage remaining on social media companies. They also say that they've got 75 full-body X-ray scanners throughout the male prison estate. They've made up some 45,000 discoveries of all sorts of things, not just mobile phones, up to October 2023. And they're spending millions of pounds on this. But it's quite clear from the footage we've seen and from some of the stories coming out from prison officers that this just isn't working. Now, there are a couple of ways how they might be getting these phones into the prisons. First and foremost, they're smuggling them in effectively through their friends and associates. But more troublingly, and this is what some insiders have told me recently, is that corrupt prison officers are likely working with prisoners on the take to bring these phones in. A small phone that you could buy for £15 on the high street, a miniature phone, that can go for thousands of pounds on a Category A wing prison. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when I'm looking at this footage of this particular clip of two men rapping about the Israel-Hamas war, that was actually uploaded at the beginning of this month. That's why I've brought this story forward now, because before it was just a few conversations. Now they're speaking quite radical stuff on camera. Now, in previous footage uploaded by that account, which has now been deleted by TikTok, we've seen interviews with murderers on the wing. I've checked up their convictions. Many of them are lifers. They've got those serious sentences. So it's highly likely that this prison where this footage has been filmed is a Category A prison. There are just 9 of them in Britain. They're meant to have the most secure measures. Belmarsh Prison in South London is notoriously known as Hellmarsh by people who've gone through it due to the strict regime there. But there have been problems at many of these prisons. Lots of rioting, lots of people rising up against prison officers, and indeed some of those concerns about corruption.
And Charlie, there's a whole conversation there about re-traumatising those who lost loved ones to murderers. If you see a murderer rapping or making videos on TikTok and you've lost a loved one, that is a grotesque affront to the deceased and their families. But the bigger question, Charlie Peters, is this. We speak oftentimes about the radicalisation that's going on within our jails. Ian Aitchison, who recently quit as a Tory party member, had him on the show. He conducted the government's own investigation into radicalisation in prisons. If these people are able to make pro-Hamas literature and pump it out into the mainstream, what does that say about the state of the mindset of people within our jails who seem to hate Britain?
And in this rap that we've just shown a small portion of on this programme, they do flip between English and Arabic. There are also some concerning lyrics there. One of the men rapping says he does not condemn Hamas and says, "What would you do if your mother and your child were being killed by bombs," referring to the ongoing conflict. So some extremely stark and, well, to be frank, illegal language there, not condemning Hamas, saying that you won't condemn the actions of that terrorist organisation, a prescribed terrorist organisation. We also see one of the men wearing a balaclava, making gun gestures with his hands, notorious gang signs during that rap. Other footage that I'll be revealing later on this week, also captured by similar accounts, also reveals people presumed to be from the same prison, possibly the same wing, discussing how they're going to pimp out their cells, how they're going to improve the standards on their cells. You've seen footage of prisoners begging and pleading with ringleaders in the prisons to improve their circumstances. This is very much giving the impression that the prison officers in some of these wings don't have the full control. Some of the footage I've seen, men getting their haircuts by other prisoners, having their rooms cleaned, a clear order of hierarchy among some of the prisoners. In some footage, they're wearing designer clothes, they've got sunglasses, they're playing speakers out of their rooms, and most concerningly of all, they can film it all and broadcast it on social media whenever they want.
Astonishing stuff, Charlie Peters.